that when I was a child, I had to take part in a small competition and I felt I wanted to be a singer, but nowadays my singing skills aren't good enough to dream of that anymore. For a higher band sample, I vividly recall participating in a school singing competition as a child, which actually sparked a brief ambition to pursue music professionally. However, over time, I've come to realize that my vocal talents are quite limited, so my childhood dream is no longer realistic. Let's do the next question. Do people in your country often go to parks?
Yes, absolutely, because in Vietnam, people like to go to the park to take some exercise or have communicate with neighbor. It means that it's like communicate area and it make a stronger bond for labor.
That's an excellent response, reflecting the outdoor culture here in Vietnam. I would place that answer at around a 6.0 as well. Regarding fluency, your ideas flowed.
Continue your comment.
Apologies for that interruption. Let's finish up that feedback. Regarding fluency, your ideas were good, but the flow could be smoother. For vocabulary, instead of communicate with neighbors, it's more natural to say socialize with neighbors. And communicate area should be community space. On grammar, you use take some exercise, which should be do exercise. A corrected version would be yes, absolutely, because in Vietnam, people like to go to the park to do exercise or to socialize with their neighbors. It means that it's like a community space and it makes stronger bonds for the residents. For a higher band sample, yes, definitely. In Vietnam, parks are vibrant hubs of community life. People often gather there in the early mornings or late afternoons for group aerobics, tai chi, or simply to stroll and chat. It's a fantastic way to stay healthy and maintain strong social connections with neighbors. Let's proceed to the next question. Do you like to wear watches?
For my perspective, I can say that I don't fit with wear watch because as a student at university, I don't have enough money to buy some watch for fashions or something else. And I think that my phone is enough to me to look right and see the times.
That was an honest and practical response. I would place that answer at around a 6.0 as well. Regarding fluency, your ideas were clear, but the phrasing could be slightly smoother. For vocabulary, instead of fit with well watch, it's better to say into wearing watches, and buy some watch should be buy watches. On grammar, your use of enough money to me should be enough money for me. A corrected version would be, from my perspective, I don't like wearing watches because as a university student, I don't have enough money to buy them for fashion, and I think my phone is enough for me to keep track of time. For a higher band sample, personally, I rarely wear a watch. In this day and age, my smartphone fulfills all my timekeeping needs, and I'd rather invest my limited resources as a student in other things rather than expensive timepieces. Let's move on to the next question.
I think I think positive aspect in the life is more sorry. I think that's the positive. I think that's positive attitude in our life is more important. So that feel boring with me is not fit enough. I think that people when feel bored, they can take a bit break something. I don't know, but I think that as attitude
You've made some great points about the power of positivity. For that answer, I'd estimate a balanced score of 5.5. Regarding fluency, there were some hesitations and repetitions as you searched for the right words, which interrupted the natural flow. For vocabulary, the phrasing fit laugh was unclear, and instead of a fish break, you could say a short break to recharge. On grammar, the sentence that the lies is more contains errors and isn't clear. A correct version would be, in my opinion, having a positive attitude is crucial in life, so boredom doesn't really have a place. When I start to feel restless, I try to take a quick break or switch activities to feel refreshed. Shall we continue with another question?
Yes, and other questions.
Let's move on to the next one. Did you learn much about science at school?
Actually, I study at the English language majors in the university, so it means that I only take part in something like in the language field, and I don't learn about science more in that time.
That makes sense, focusing on your major. I would place that answer at around a 5.5. Regarding fluency, you were easy to understand, but there was some repetition and searching for words. For vocabulary, instead of saying take part in something like in the language field, it's more precise to say focus on language-based subjects. On grammar, you use takes instead of the past tense took. A corrected version would be, actually I'm an English language major at university, so I only took part in language-based subjects and didn't study much science during that time. For a higher band sample, given that I specialized in English language and literature, my undergraduate curriculum didn't include many science courses. Most of my attention was dedicated to linguistics and cultural studies. Let's continue with another random question.
Yes, questions.
Alright, let's look at another topic. What kinds of websites do you often visit?
As I mentioned before, I still a student, so the websites I often visit to is our e-learning website of my university. It's helped me to do my homework and follow the theories of the lesson in my class.
That makes perfect sense for a student. I would place that answer at around a 5.5. Regarding fluency, you were easy to understand, but there were some repetitions and minor hesitations. For vocabulary, the phrase learning, e-learning should be streamlined, and instead of follow the theories, you could say follow the course materials. On grammar, the sentence, the websites I often visit to has a slight redundancy. A corrected version would be, as I mentioned before, I'm still a student, so the primary website I often visit is my university's e-learning platform. It helps me submit assignments and keep track of course materials. Shall we continue with another question?
Yes.
Wonderful. Let's proceed to the next question. Did you ever find school boring when you were a child?
Yes, absolutely, because I think always try feel that school time is boring for them. As I was a child, I feel some subjects like science, math, like don't fit for me, and I don't like it. I feel, oh my god, it's terrible.
That gives us some interesting insight into your school days. I would place that answer at around a 5.5. Regarding fluency, your ideas were easy to follow, but there were some grammatical errors that disrupted the flow. For vocabulary, instead of using tries for children, you could use kids or children, and don't fit for me can be expressed as didn't really appeal to me. On grammar, you used as I was try instead of when I was a child, and feel instead of felt. A corrected version would be, yes, absolutely, because I think all children feel that school time is boring for them. When I was a child, I felt some subjects like science and math didn't really appeal to me, and I didn't like them at all. I felt they were terrible. For a higher band sample, yes, certainly. As a child, I found certain subjects quite tedious. While some peers enjoyed science and mathematics, I really struggled to engage with them, and I often found those classes to be a real struggle. Would you like to try another question?